Lila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravish Jai Srila Gorakishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Charja Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Gaur Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Siko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiu Ki Jai. Jai Shrimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Saki Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Nanga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Yoga Maya Devi Ki Jai. Shri Gopi Swar Mahadev Ki Jai. Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiu Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Srina Shringa Dev Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charodam Charo Sampradaya Charo Acharya Ki Jai. Akara Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. और अनन्य शाखा मत समूह की जाय. श्री विश्व वैष्णव राज सभा की जाय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय. त्रिभुवन पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय. त्रिभुवन मंगल हरि नाम प्रभु की जाय. हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जाय. सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जाय. श्री नित्यानंद महाजन की जाय. श्री पंच तत्व की जाय. समवेत भक्त वृंद की जाय. समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय. जय श्री श्री निताय गौर प्रेम आनंदे. हरि हरि बोल. So we'll continue in our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 15. And because Mahaprabhu is still there in Jagannath Puri after the festival, then the Vaishnavas stay in the association of Mahaprabhu for the next at least something like 3 months, 3 to 4 months. And so in this chapter that we'll be hearing, then there's many discussions between Mahaprabhu and his bhaktas. And very interesting exchanges. We learned so much from Chaitanya Charitamrita about Mahaprabhu's dealings with his pure devotees, his eternal associates, and all the love and affection and all the lessons and all the even chastisements Mahaprabhu. So it's very, very sweet. We'll be reading that in continuation of our Ratha Yatra Katha. Also in that chapter, Mahaprabhu answers various questions before the Vaishnavas return back to Bengal. And they ask questions about what should we do now that we're leaving your association. What is our duty? What should we do? And then Mahaprabhu gives, each year actually, he gives the same instruction, but he gives the same instruction for 3 different levels of Vaishnavas. First year for the Kanishta, second year for the Madhyam, third year for the Uttam. And Mahaprabhu is telling that you should serve Vaishnavas. So then they ask, well, how do we recognize who is a Vaishnava that we should serve? And how should we serve? So all of those important questions, our Gurudev, he covered these in his lectures when he was in the Western countries. And he told, in brief, the essence of these chapters. So, yes, and he brought to our attention how Mahaprabhu was saying that the duty of all the devotees is to always chant the holy names of Krishna and worship Krishna and to serve Vaishnavas. Those 2 or 3 things. So we'll hear about that. I don't know if we'll make it that far into the chapter. It's a long chapter. It's about 300 verses. Usually the chapters are 150, 200, like that. So this is a longer chapter. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. জয় বলদেব, জয় সুভদ্রা, জয় জগন্নাথ, জয় জগন্নাথ। শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ, শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ, শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শিবাসাদি গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ, শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শিবাসাদি গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ, শ্রী কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ, শ্রী অদ্বৈত গদাধর শিবাসাদি গৌর ভক্তবৃন্দ, হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে হরে, হরে রাম হরে রাম, রাম রাম হরে হরে, হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে হরে, হরে রাম হরে রাম, রাম রাম হরে হরে, হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে হরে, হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে হরে, হরে রাম হরে রাম, রাম রাম হরে হরে, হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে কৃষ্ণ, কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ হরে হরে, হরে রাম হরে রাম, রাম রাম হরে হরে, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Gaura Hari. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur. Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur. Hai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gauda Trise Nama. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyai Keshavasya Char Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtottara Sata Shri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtottara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtottara Sata Shri Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all of my Sri Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga. And I offer my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and to all the Vaishnavis. So, chapter 15, Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this chapter is titled, The Lord Accepts Prasadam at the House of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, but there are, as I said earlier, there are many other sections of this chapter, but this chapter is titled, for this pastime of Mahaprabhu came to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So I'm going to read the summary of this chapter, which is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya. After the Ratha Yatra festival, then Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu worshipped Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with flowers and tulsi. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in return, he worshipped Advaita Acharya with the flowers and the tulsi that remained on the offered plate. And he said a mantra as he was worshipping Advaita Charya. What was that mantra? Yosi sosi namostute. It means, whatever you are, but I offer my respects unto you. So then Advaita Charya Prabhu invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for prasadam. And when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees performed the Nand Otsav festival, that means the day after Janmashtami, then the Lord dressed himself as a cowherd boy. Thus the ceremony was very jubilant. Then the Lord and his devotees observed Vijaya Dashami, which is the day of victory when Lord Ramachandra conquered Lanka. Then the devotees all became soldiers of Lord Ramachandra, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the ecstasy of Hanuman, manifested various transcendentally blissful activities. And thereafter the Lord and his devotees observed various other ceremonies. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then, he asked all the devotees to return to Bengal. This is the first Rath Yatra festival, where they came from Bengal. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Nityananda Prabhu to Bengal for preaching. And he also sent Ram Das, Gadadhar Das, and several other devotees with him. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with great humility, he sent some Jagannath prasadam and a cloth from Lord Jagannath to his mother through Srivas Thakur. When the Lord bade farewell to Raghava Pandit and Vasudev Datta and the residents of Kulinagram, and all the other devotees, then he praised them for their transcendental qualities. Ramananda Vasu and Satyaraj Khan, they asked some questions. And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed them all that all householder devotees must engage themselves in the service of Vaishnavas, exclusively devoted to chanting the holy name of the Lord. Yes, those are the type of Vaishnavas, those who are exclusively devoted to chanting the holy name of the Lord, and all householder devotees must engage themselves in the service of such Vaishnavas. So he also instructed the Vaishnavas from Khanda, as well as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and also Vidyavachaspati. And he praised Murari Gupta for his firm faith in the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. So considering the humble prayer of Vasudev Datta, he established that Lord Sri Krishna is qualified to deliver all the conditioned souls. And thereafter, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was accepting prasadam at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then Sarvabhauma's son-in-law, named Amoga, he created trouble in the family with his criticisms. The following morning, he was attacked by the disease of Visuchika, cholera. So Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very kindly saved him from death, and he enlivened him in chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. So that is the summary of this chapter. Now we will proceed to read verse by verse. So the first verse is telling about this pastime of Mahaprabhu accepting prasad at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house and Amoga criticizing him. But how then the Lord, he still accepted Amoga, showing him how much he was obliged to his devotees. Sarvabhauma grihe bunjan swanindakam amogakam angi kurvan sputam chakre gora swam bhakta vashyatam. So bhakta vashyatam means that he is like controlled by the love of his devotees. So while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking prasadam at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then Amoga criticized him. But still, the Lord accepted Amoga, thereby showing how much he was obliged to his devotees. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Chandra. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Jaya Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Shrotagan, Chaitanya Charitamrita Jar Pranadhan. All glories to the listeners of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita who have accepted it as their life and their soul. Jar Pranadhana. E Mata Mahaprabhu Bhakta Gana Sange Nilachale Rahi Kare Nritya Gita Range. So while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at Jagannath Puri, he constantly enjoyed chanting and dancing with his devotees. Pratama Vasare Jagannatha Darshan Nritya Gita Kore Danda Pranama Stavan. So this is describing Mahaprabhu's daily schedule. And so now he's explaining that in the beginning of the day, in the beginning of each day in the morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the deity of Lord Jagannath. He had Jagannath Darshan in the temple. Then he offered him obeisances and prayers, and he danced and he sang before him, Jagannath. Upala Bhoga Lagile Kore Bahire Vijay, Haridasa Mili Aise Apana Niloy. After visiting the temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would remain outside during the Upala Bhog offering. He would then go and meet Haridas Thakur, and he would return to his residence. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada tells that at noon, when there was an Upala Bhoga offering in a place that is called Bhog Vardhana Kanda, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go outside the temple. But before going outside, he used to stand near the Garuda Stamba column, and he would offer his obeisances and prayers. Then afterwards, the Lord would visit Siddha Bakul, where Haridas Thakur lived, and after visiting with Haridas Thakur, the Lord would return to his own place at the abode of Kashi Mishra. So, I think we've all been to Jagannath Puri, yes? You've been there? You've been there, right? Yes, of course, you've been there. Yeah. So these three places, the Western devotees can have access. And so when we hear the names of these three places, then our heart fills with joy. Because even though we can't go in the Jagannath temple because of our birth in Western bodies, that may change in the near future, we will see. Certainly our bodies will change in the near future. So, but it's interesting how that Mahaprabhu every day he would go to the temple, have darshan of Jagannath. Then he would see the Bhoga Vardhana Kanda, Upala Bhog offering of Bhog to Lord Jagannath. And then he would stand near the Garuda Stamba column. We've seen many paintings and drawings. And he would offer his obeisances and prayers. But then afterward, he would visit these two places. So we can envision in our mind going from the Singadwara gate, right? Like if you were coming out of the temple, then you would turn right. And you'd go straight down all the way. About how far would you say that is? Maybe half a kilometer, 500 meters, something like that. Then on the left-hand side, you'll see a kind of an archway, and it says there, Kashi Mishra Bhavan. So that place is one of the topmost places in the universe. That is the house of Kashi Mishra, who hosted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the whole time that he was living in Jagannath Puri. He had a special section of his house. And what was the name of that section of his house? The Gambhira. What does the word Gambhira mean? Do you know? Huh? Yes. Gambhir. Very deep. Gambhir. Also very secret place. Gambhir. And also Gambhir means very deep. So this name of this section of his house contained the room that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always stayed in. And you cannot go into that room, but because it's walled off. But you can look inside through a window that has, what do you call it, slats in the window. And that very room, I think if you took all of these mattresses that are on the floor and maybe up to the wall, or maybe not even, it's about that big, but not quite this wide, not quite that wide. And when you look through the window, you can see a very nice kind of like an altar that they've put there, and it has, they say, the actual wooden shoes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are there. Large size, because Mahaprabhu was very big. And it also has a water pot, kamandalu, there. And all of these pastimes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu lived in that room for nearly 18 years. 18 years plus. And the first 6 of those 18 years, then Mahaprabhu traveled, right? Where did he go first from Jagannath Puri? Went to South India. He went to Godavari, first of all, where Sri Ramananda Roy was there, and he had the most incredible conversation with Ramananda Roy, which is called the Roy Ramananda Samvad. So then he went to South India, and what I understand is that whole journey was for something like 2 years, right? About 2 years. And all the places of Mahaprabhu's journeying were marked, because they're mentioned Chaitanya Charitamrita, and they were marked by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who sent his disciples to make what are called padapit. A padapit means a place where the lotus feet of the Lord are installed, usually in the form of a marble that has his lotus feet, the imprint of his lotus feet. Padapit. And he sent his disciples to install these padapits in so many of those places of Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So, of course, we know that Mahaprabhu eventually came to Sri Rangam. And Sri Rangam is one of the most famous holy places in all of India. And it has the temple of Sri Ranganath Ji. And even to this day, it's one of the strictest temples, following all the rules and regulations of deity worship and so forth. And so Mahaprabhu was invited by a family that lived there in Sri Rangam. And that family was the father and the uncles, and in the form of a child, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who was the son of Venkata Bhatta. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed, he stayed 4 months there. Why? Because the Chaturmasya, which is 2 days from today, is the rainy season in India. And so sadhus who normally would travel barefoot everywhere throughout India, they would stay usually in a temple or some kind of ashram at a holy place, because it was too difficult to move and travel easily. So they would stay for 4 months of the rainy season. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ended up staying 4 months with this family, Venkata Bhatta, Trimala Bhatta, and Prabodhananda Saraswati, the 3 brothers, and the son of Venkata Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami had the darshan of Mahaprabhu in his, childhood. I don't know exactly what his age was, but he was not a tiny child. He was a somewhat grown-up child. And he got to serve Mahaprabhu personally. But after that, he didn't have the darshan again, the physical darshan of Mahaprabhu, did he? No, he didn't have the physical darshan of Mahaprabhu. Of course, when Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan, to visit Vrindavan, the 6 Goswamis had not yet gone there. Rupa, Sanatan, and so forth. And in actuality, during that journey to Vrindavan, after he visited Vrindavan, then he returned back to Varanasi, and he met Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad there, and he stayed there for 2 months, instructing Srila Sanatan Goswami. Then he went to Prayag, and he met Rupa Goswami. I don't remember which one. No, Rupa Goswami was first in Prayag. And that's when he gave Siksha to Rupa Goswami. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapters, Madhya Leelas chapter 19 through chapters 25. They are all the instructions Mahaprabhu gave to Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis. But later on, as he grew up more, then Gopal Bhatta Goswami went to Vrindavan, like that. But he did not come to Puri. He did not have the darshan of Mahaprabhu in Puri. But Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, he did. And of course, Rup Sanatan and Srila Raghunath Das Goswamis, they had the darshan of Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So, but Mahaprabhu was extremely loving and affectionate to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And he sent him his personal items of his cloth, his kopin, like this, to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who received that exactly as he would receive Mahaprabhu personally. So anyway, when Mahaprabhu returned back to Jagannath Puri after those 4 months of the rainy season, and after staying in the house of Venkata Bhatta and converting them. That's a very interesting pastime, because they were worshippers of Lakshmi Narayan, coming in that line of the Ramanuja Sampradaya. And the deity in the temple was Lord Vishnu deity. And so they had grown up in Brahmin families, and they were very strict in their worship of Lakshmi Narayan, and they had great devotion to Lakshmi Narayan. But after Mahaprabhu had lived there in their house for some period of time, gradually, by living with them, their relationship became quite, intimate, and sometimes without much formality. And so at a certain time, then Mahaprabhu decided that he wanted to ask some questions and discuss with Venkatabhatta about their devotion to Lakshmi Narayan. And Mahaprabhu posed some questions. And that conversation is a very instructive conversation. At one point, we will actually read that conversation verse by verse. But in essence, Mahaprabhu, he questioned Venkatabhatta. And he said, "You are worshipping Lakshmi Devi, but we know from the Srimad Bhagavatam and from the Shastras that Lakshmi Devi, although she's the supreme queen and consort of Lord Narayan, she's the goddess of fortune. But yet, she went to perform austerities in Braja." Do you know the name of that place in Vrindavan? You know the name of that place? It's right across the Yamuna from our Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math. It's a village. It's called Belvan. Belvan, like the fruit, bale fruit. So that is the place where Lakshmi Devi performed great tapasyas and austerities. But Mahaprabhu asked to Venkatabhatta, "Why does your Lakshmi go to Vrindavan to perform austerities so that she can enter into the Ras Leela dance of Krishna?" So then there was some answer by Venkatabhatta that, well, what is the problem? What is the problem with that? She knows that Krishna is an expansion of her Lord, Lord Narayan. So what is the fault in Lakshmi wanting to perform pastimes with her husband in another playful form, full of sweetness and so forth? What is the fault there? But then Mahaprabhu said, actually no, this is not a fault, but one question remains. Why did she not succeed? Although she performed austerities, and according to the Brijbasis, she's still performing austerities to this day in Belvan. But she did not succeed. And then Venkatabhatta said, "Please explain to me." And then Mahaprabhu answered and explained that actually between Lord Narayan and Krishna, by tattva vichar, they are the same personality. There's actually no difference between them. Just like Krishna and all of his expansions, incarnations, etc., they're actually Krishna himself. But they're showing partial qualities of Krishna and specific moods and rasas. But the form of Krishna alone is the absolute pinnacle of the taster of all rasas. So by rasa vichar, Krishna is far beyond Lord Narayan. So therefore Lakshmi Devi wanted to experience that because she has a a mood of Svakya rasa with her husband, Lord Narayan. She always eternally remains on his chest and serving his lotus feet. But the question was, why could she not succeed in her attempt to enter the rasa dance? So we know, because we've heard this explained by our Gurudev many times, that when Lakshmi came there and was performing her austerities and so forth, then she was approached by Yogamaya Purnamasi. And Yogamaya Purnamasi requested, okay, why have you come, O Lakshmi Devi? And you're performing such severe austerities. And then Lakshmi Devi replied, well, because I have the desire to enjoy the playful pastimes of my husband in the form of Krishna, that he performed the Ras Leela dance, and I want to experience that. So then Yogamaya told her, well, okay, I can give you some help in this regard, because in order for you to qualify to enter into the Rasa Leela dance of Lord Krishna, then you will have to actually develop all the qualities of the Braja Gopis. And in order to do that, you'll have to learn to live like the Braja Gopis. Because what did the Braja Gopis do? They boil milk, they turn the milk into yogurt, they churn yogurt into butter, and they make ghee, and they're doing these tasks, and they're also living in the home of their husbands' parents. All the gopis, they have their husbands, and they perform so many different services in the household, looking after children, cleaning, cooking, going to fetch water, doing so many activities that village girls do. And they also make cow dung patties. So, Lakshmi, you are a queen. You are a very opulent queen. And it may be that you cannot accustom yourself to this lifestyle and making cow dung patties. So, one by one, Yogamaya was telling to her that, yes, you will have to do this, you will have to do that, you will have to become a Braja Gopi, just like the Braja Gopis. Because only the Braja Gopis can enter into the Ras Leela dance of Radha and Krishna. Only the Braja Gopis can. No one else. No one else. Not the demigoddesses, not any queens. No one else can enter into the Rasa dance of Krishna. But if you can do all these activities, and you can also do one more activity, then it may be possible that you can become like a gopi, and then you can enter into Krishna's Rasa Leela dance. And what was that one thing that she was told? Yes, you will have to marry a gopa and have a so-called husband, and then you will have to cheat your husband to go and meet Krishna in the Rasa dance secretly in the mood of Parakiya Rasa. And that was one thing Lakshmi could not do. That was not possible for her. She's eternally the consort, the intimate consort and beloved of Lord Narayan. So how can she have another husband? How is that possible? No. So therefore, she was not allowed. She was not given access. And this is a very instructive story. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed this to Venkatabhatta, now he began to understand something about Krishna. And then Mahaprabhu began to explain how high is the rasa of Krishna's pastimes in comparison to any other expansions, incarnations, how Krishna is the source of all other incarnations and expansions, and his Braja Leela pastimes in his eternal planet Goloka Vrindavan are the pinnacle, the highest of tasting of rasa. So, and actually Venkadabhata took the information from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in his heart became converted by Mahaprabhu to loving Radha and Krishna and the mood of the Braja Gopis. His heart became converted in that way. So from that point on, they all now accepted that they should worship Radha and Krishna in Braj. And that is the topmost position. And Mahaprabhu has given this instruction, so they followed that instruction. And personalities, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he lived in Braj for his whole adult life. And Prabodhananda Saraswati, the other brother, he also lived in Vrindavan at Kaliya Ghat. When we go there, Kaliya Hrad, you know the place where Kaliya was, and Krishna danced on the heads of Kaliya, on the Parikrama Marg there. So that's just in the backside of that Leela Stali, there is the Samadhi of Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati, who wrote incredible books in Sanskrit. He was topmost poet. Actually, he's an incarnation of Tungavidya, one of the Ashtasakis. And so he lived there in Braj for decades. He wrote Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi, which is the topmost glorification of Srimati Radharani. He also wrote Chaitanya Chandramrita, which is a glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the topmost poetry in Sanskrit. And other books also he wrote. So, in this way, Mahaprabhu remained there in Sri Rangam, and gradually he returned to Puri. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the chapters that we just read, chapters 12, 13, 14, they're describing Mahaprabhu's arrival back from his journey, and then how all the Bengali Vaishnavas began their journey and met with Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri for the first time. And engaged in all the festivities of the Ratha Yatra festival that first year. So then every year after that, they also came. Mahaprabhu told them, you stay here until this time, 4 months, and now you should return, and again next year you should return to Jagannath Puri. So when we go to the Kasi Mishra Bhavan and we see Mahaprabhu's very room, this is incredible, that we can physically go there and sit in front of his room where he stayed for the final 18 years of his life. He didn't go anywhere outside of Puri. And the last 12 years, especially the last 8 of those 12 years, is described in the Antya Leela. In the final part of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the deep ecstasies which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relished continually, every single day, all through the night, with who? Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy, who were always with him in the Gambhira, and singing so many verses and augmenting all of the moods of Mahaprabhu and enabling him to dive very deep in Radharani's prem, which he came to taste. He's Krishna himself, who has come to taste the ultimate Unnata Ujjvala Prem Ras of Srimati Radharani. So those pastimes took place in that final period in Jagannath Puri. And that's why Jagannath Puri is such an exalted dham for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because Mahaprabhu lived there. Most of his sannyas period lasts 24 years. And he also disappeared in Jagannath Puri. And plus he would go every single day to visit Namacharya Haridas Thakur, which when you come out of Kasi Mishra Bhavan onto the road, again you turn left. A short distance from there, you turn left again, and you go a little bit downhill. And then from there you have to turn right, and very nearby to that area is the place where Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur used to stay. That place was given to him by Mahaprabhu. And he stayed there all through Mahaprabhu's final pastimes, chanting 3 lakhs of Harinam. So that place is called Siddha Bakul. Why is it called Siddha Bakul? Because there's a Bakul tree there, which was created by Mahaprabhu. Now it's kind of disappeared, but it's still actually living. And Mahaprabhu, when he would come there every single day, then Haridas Thakur would be chanting underneath that Bakul tree. And also the final pastimes of Haridas Thakur in his final hours and days, he stayed there, and Mahaprabhu came to see him, and the pastime of Mahaprabhu questioning him, because he was lying down and chanting, propped up against the tree, the base of the tree. And the Mahaprabhu said, "Oh Haridas, you are not well?" And then Haridas Thakur said, "My body is okay, but my mind, my Atma is not okay, because I could not complete my 3 lakhs of chanting of Harinam. I could not complete." And he said, "But his body is okay." So actually, that was the last day that Haridas Thakur was on the planet, and then Mahaprabhu understood. And actually Haridas Thakur told him, "Oh my Lord, I know that very soon you are going to finish your pastimes in this world. But I will never be able to tolerate separation from you. So please allow me to leave before you." Mahaprabhu didn't say anything. Then he came back the next day with Ramananda Roy, Sarup Damodar, all the different Vaishnavas. And at that time he approached Haridas Thakur, and Haridas Thakur was lying on, propped up against the tree, and Mahaprabhu put his foot on the chest of Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur held on to his lotus foot, gripping tightly, and his eyes completely absorbed in Mahaprabhu's beauty of his face. And then at that time, Mahaprabhu began kirtan. Kirtan was going on, and then Haridas Thakur looked at Mahaprabhu, and then suddenly he left his body, and then Mahaprabhu, who was dancing, began dancing and singing and glorifying Haridas Thakur. Then Mahaprabhu took the body of Haridas Thakur and he danced with that. There are many paintings of Mahaprabhu dancing with Haridas Thakur's transcendental body. And who is Haridas Thakur? He's Lord Brahma. Brahma Haridas. Lord Brahma has descended as a, outcast Muslim. And now he became the Nam Acharya of chanting the holy names. Our Guru, our our original guru of our sampradaya. This is the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So this is the sampradaya that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted and embraced. So then Haridas Thakur was brought to the ocean front on a palanquin, and all the devotees came there, and there was a gigantic festival where Mahaprabhu, with his own hands, he placed Haridas Thakur in the sand as his samadhi. And there we can go to this day. Another landmark place in Jagannath Puri. Yes, and Mahaprabhu performed his samadhi, and then Mahaprabhu ordered that there should be a feast of Jagannath Mahaprasadam, and there was a gigantic feast. And then Mahaprabhu declared, he gave so many blessings that anyone who saw this festival of the passing of Haridas Thakur, he will certainly attain Krishna Prem. And he said many other things in glorification of Haridas Thakur. So when we go there to Haridas Thakur's samadhi in Jagannath Puri, then very near to there is also the place where Gadadhar Pandit was always living during that time, and he was serving the deity that Mahaprabhu had manifested from the sand. That deity is called Tota Gopinath. And Tota means garden. So that deity was manifested by Mahaprabhu. And Gadadhar Pandit worshipped and served that deity. Who is Gadadhar Pandit? Radharani herself in Gaur Leela. And every day Mahaprabhu would come there and have darshan and sit with Gadadhar Pandit as Gadadhar Pandit read Srimad Bhagavatam to Mahaprabhu. Every day Mahaprabhu would go and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole Bhagavatam. Even over and over again he was hearing Prahlad Charitra, Dhruva Maharaj pastimes and so forth. All the different, and he was ecstatic, because who was he hearing from? From Gadadhar Pandit, Radharani herself. And he was expressing all the moods that Mahaprabhu had come to taste, you see. So in this way, Jagannath Puri is a very special place for all devotees throughout the world. We were lucky to have stayed there over the years, quite many times, for short periods. I've never stayed for a longer period, but that remains to be seen, how Krishna will arrange things. But anyway, we are reading this chapter of Mahaprabhu, how he lived in Puri, what he did on a daily basis. Then the chapter goes on, Gore Vasi Kore Prabhu Nam Samkirtan, Advaita Asiya Kore Prabhura Pujan. Now sitting in his room, Gambhira, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would chant on his beads. And Advaita Prabhu would come there to worship Lord Chaitanya. Then while worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya would offer him scented water to wash his mouth and feet. And then Advaita Acharya would smear very fragrant sandalwood pulp all over his body. Then Sri Advaita Prabhu would also place a flower garland around the Lord's neck and tulsi flowers, manjaris, on Mahaprabhu's head. Then with folded hands, Advaita Acharya would offer obeisances and prayers unto the Lord. So Puja Patre Pushpa Tulsi Shesha Je Achilo Se Sab Loya Prabhu Acharya Pujilo. So after being worshipped by Advaita Acharya, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take the dish containing the flowers and the tulsi, and with whatever paraphernalia remained, he would worship Advaita Acharya. Then he said, Yosi Sosi Namostute E Mantra Pade Mukha Vadya Kori Prabhu Hasaya Acharya Yere. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would worship Advaita Acharya by chanting this mantra, Yosi Sosi Namostute. It means, whatever you are, but I offer my respects unto you. And in addition to doing this, as he worshipped Advaita Acharya, the Lord would make sounds within his mouth that would make Advaita Acharya laugh. So although they were worshipping one another, but Mahaprabhu was very playful in his worship. So in this way, Advaita Acharya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would offer their respectful obeisances unto each other. And then Advaita Acharya would extend an invitation to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and again. So indeed, Sri Advaita Acharya's invitation is another very wonderful story. It has been very vividly described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. So then he says, since Advaita Acharya's invitation has been described by Vrindavan Das Thakur in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, so I shall not repeat the story. But I shall say that other devotees, they also extended invitations to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So day after day, one devotee after another, they would invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then the other devotees also would be invited to lunch. And they would also hold a festival. So, Chari Mas Rahila, that means all the devotees remained in Jagannath Puri for 4 continuous months. And they observed all of Lord Jagannath's festivals with great pleasure. The devotees celebrated the festival of Janmashtami, Krishna's birthday, which is also called Nanda Mahotsav, the festival of Nanda Maharaj. And at that time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, they dressed themselves as cowherd boys. And then having dressed up like cowherd boys, all the devotees carried pots of milk and yogurt balanced on rods over their shoulders. You've ever seen that in India? Where a person is carrying something and he has a very, unbreakable stick, either bamboo or some other. And on each side there are pots that are hanging or some items that are hanging. And this is how they would carry very heavy pots of milk and yogurt in Braj. This is how they would carry it, on rods over their shoulders. Thus, all the devotees arrived at the festival grounds chanting the holy name of Hari. Then, one of the devotees named Kanani Kutia, he dressed himself like Nanda Maharaj. And then Jagannath Mahiti, he dressed himself as Mother Yashoda. So at that time, King Prataparudra, he was also personally present with Kashi Mishra, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Tulsi Padicapatra. So, as usual, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced jubilantly, and everyone was covered with milk, yogurt, and yellow turmeric water. Then Advaita Acharya said, at that time, please do not be angry. I speak the truth. I shall know, and he's telling this to who? He's telling this to Mahaprabhu. He says, I shall know that you are a cowherd boy only if you can wheel this rod, this stick, only if you can wheel it about. So then, accepting Advaita Acharya's challenge, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a big rod and he began to wheel it around and around. Again and again he threw the rod into the sky and caught it when it fell. Mahaprabhu wheeled and threw the rod, sometimes over his head, sometimes behind his back, sometimes in front of him, sometimes to his side, sometimes between his legs, and all the people laughed to see this. What do you think of that pastime of Mahaprabhu? Do you understand what Mahaprabhu was doing? Huh? Did you understand? That he was playing, being challenged by Advaitacharya with his stick. Why? Because cowherd boys all carry cowherd sticks. But they're very expert in playing with the cowherd sticks. They throw them into the air and catch them, and just like we heard. And so Advaitacharya challenged Mahaprabhu. He says, if you're really a cowherd boy, I'll know it only if you can wheel this rod. So then Mahaprabhu wheeled, threw the rod up into the air. It was very joyful. All the devotees were amazed, and they were laughing to see this with joy. Then, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whirled the rod in a circle, like a firebrand, then the heart of everyone who saw it was astonished. Do you know about that? Whirling a stick. Have you ever done that in your life? Where, like for example, when you have a fire and you put a stick into the fire and it's evening time, then you pull the stick out and it's red at the tip. And then when you go like this, what does it look like? It looks like a circle of red from that. And this is what Mahaprabhu did with his cowherd stick. And all the devotees were completely astonished to see this. So, then Nityananda Prabhu also played at whirling the rod. So who can understand how they were ecstatically immersed in the deep emotions of the cowherd boys? Now, following the orders of Maharaj Prataparudra, the temple superintendent named Tulsi, he brought one of Lord Jagannath's used cloths. Then this valuable cloth was wrapped around the head of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because cowherd boy, why did they wrap it around Mahaprabhu's head? They wrapped it around Mahaprabhu's head because all the cowherd boys wear turbans and cloth wrapped around their heads. So then the other devotees, headed by Advaitacharya, they also had cloths wrapped around their heads. Then in ecstasy, Kanani Kutiya, who was dressed as Nanda Maharaj, and Jagannath Mahiti, who was dressed as Mother Yashoda, they distributed all the riches that they had stocked at home. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was greatly satisfied to see this, and accepting them as his father and mother, he offered them obeisances, even though it was like a drama. So in great ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his residence. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gauranga Sundar, he performed various pastimes. His name is directly stated here, that Mahaprabhu, who is known as Gauranga Sundar, he performed various pastimes. We have a Gauranga Sundar Das in our room here today. So on the day celebrating the conquest of Lanka, that day is known as Vijaya Dashami, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dressed up all his devotees as what? How did he dress all of his devotees? Monkeys. They all dressed up as monkey soldiers. Then Mahaprabhu, displaying the emotion of Hanuman, he took up a large tree branch, and then mounting the walls of the Lanka fort, he began to dismantle it. So in the ecstasy of Hanuman, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu angrily said, "Where is that rascal Ravana? He has kidnapped the universal mother, Sita. Now I shall kill him and all his family." This is Mahaprabhu telling, in the mood of who? In the mood of who? Hanuman. So everyone became very much astonished to see the emotional ecstasy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and everyone began to chant, "Jaya Jaya Bole Bar Bar." All glories, all glories. They began to chant again and again. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, they participated in all the festivals, including Rasa Yatra, Deepavali, and Uttan Dvadashi. Then in the purport, Prabhupada says that the Deepavali festival takes place on the dark moon night in the month of Kartik, October to November. So we used to be in Govardhan with our Gurudev every single year at his Govardhan temple. And even before he built that temple, we were still in Govardhan on that day, which is called Deepavali. Deepa means lamp, like a light. And on that evening, when we go to Mansarovara, which is right nearby to Gurudev's temple, there are thousands and thousands of lamps surrounding the whole lake, and it looks so stunningly beautiful and mysterious. So, and then after the Deepavali festival, or I forget now, no, the Govardhan Puja festival takes place before that, if I remember correctly. And then after Deepavali. Yeah. So then after the Deepavali festival, then they do Govardhan Parikrama, and then they do half of the Parikrama. Then there's Govardhan Anakut festival, and then after the Anakut festival, there's also every year the festivals of the disappearance days of Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj, and our Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and also the guru of our Bhaktivedanta Sridhar Maharaj, who is named Bhakti Shri Rup Siddhanti Goswami. His appearance day is after that. So usually on that day we do the parikrama of the other half, the Radha Kund side of Govardhan. So that we were so fortunate to be with Gurudev every year from 1994 till 2010 when he departed, and then after that the tradition has been carried on for the last 14 years. And so it's described here that Mahaprabhu participated in all the festivals, and one of them is Rasa Yatra, which Prabhupada is telling. Rasa means the dancing of Krishna, Rasa Yatra. And it takes place on the full moon night of the same month. Now, there's two full moon nights. The first one is the first day of Kartik. Yes? And there is a Rasa Yatra on that night. But also the last day of Kartik, also the full moon, which is full moon, the ending of Kartik. So there's also a Rasa Yatra at that time. So then Uttana Dvadashi takes place the day after Ekadasi, in the waxing fortnight of the moon in the same month. Then all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu participated in all these festivals. So what's the speciality of that Uttana Dvadashi, the final Ekadasi of the Kartik month? Disappearance day of Srila Gaura Kishora Das Babaji Maharaj. Yes. And about 3 days later, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj departed on that day. So we always observe these festivals. So all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they participated in all these festivals. So, Ek Din Mahaprabhu Nityanande Loya, Dui Bai Yukti Koilo, Nibrite Vasya. Now, one day, the two brothers, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they consulted with each other while sitting together in a solitary place. And no one could understand what the brothers discussed between themselves. But later all the devotees could guess what the subject matter was. And thereafter Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for all the devotees, and then he asked them to return to Bengal. And in this way he bade farewell to them. And bidding farewell to all the devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested them to return to Jagannath Puri every year to see him. And then to see the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. So they would arrive at least not later than that. Some days before that they would arrive to see the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. Then Mahaprabhu, with very great respect, he requested Advaita Charya. He said to him, Achandala Adi Krishna Bhakti Diodan. O Advaita Charya, give Krishna consciousness, devotion to Krishna, even to the lowest of men, Chandalas. So now you can certainly imagine that our Srila Prabhupada is going to take advantage of this verse and write a very significant purport. Why? Because Mahaprabhu has just told Advaita Charya, give bhakti, Krishna bhakti, devotion to Krishna, even to the lowest of men, the Chandalas. So who did that? Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He actually did it. He physically went throughout the entire world and touched his lotus feet on all the continents and in many, many countries, and established Krishna temples throughout the world, even Africa, Australia, Southeast Asia, Russia. He went there only one time, but by his one visit to Russia, all of Russia began to hear the names of Krishna through one devotee that he initiated. And he went to Europe, many European countries. He went to Kenya, Nairobi, Africa, which I also spent almost 2 years there. He went to South America. He went to Mexico. I'm not sure which country in South... Huh? Venezuela. Oh, yeah. He went to Venezuela. Any other country in South America? Okay. So Srila Prabhupada, the world Acharya, is the personality who followed this order of Mahaprabhu to give Krishna Bhakti to even the lowest of the human beings, Chandalas. Did Prabhupada do that? Yes. What is another name for the lowest of the human beings? Yavana. We are in that category. We are in that category. But Prabhupada gave Krishna Bhakti, starting in New York City, San Francisco, and the United States, and then going throughout the whole world. So Prabhupada is now telling us that this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order to all his devotees, that Krishna Bhakti, devotion to Krishna, it is open to everyone. even to low-class men like Chandalas. So one should follow this order in the disciplic succession stemming from Sri Advaita and Nityananda Prabhu, and distribute Krishna consciousness without discrimination throughout the whole world. So, following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, even after his departure from this world, physical departure in 1977, the Krishna consciousness movement has continued to expand. And various sanghas and societies, institutions of Gaudiya Vaishnavas have gone throughout the whole world, and especially in India. I mean, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, founded by Srila Prabhupada directly, that is just unbelievable how they have expanded in India. How they have expanded and started temples all over India. Even in like the city of Delhi, the big capital, they have 18 temples in that city. Not just tiny little temple, big temples. You know, so Mahaprabhu's order carried out by our whole disciplic succession, and who gave their blessings and who laid the foundation for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to send preachers to the Western countries. And they went and they did surveillance work, just like if you want to attack an enemy, you have to do surveillance first. You have to find out what are their strong places, their weak places, and so forth. So some of the disciples were sent by Srila Prabhupada, and they tried their best. And they also brought, like Shripad Bhakti Hriday Bon Maharaj, he brought back from there 2 German Western devotees, which you can see in a photograph taken at the railway station in Bombay. And there's a whole group photo, and the 2 are there with turbans on, you know, and then in the middle is Shripad Bon Maharaj, and then off to the far right is a very beautiful looking householder Vaishnava, and that is our Srila Prabhupada. He's in that photo. So anyway, Srila Prabhupada goes on to explain that there are different kinds of men. There are different kinds of men. Beginning with the Brahmana and then going down to the lowest platform known as Chandala. And whatever one's position, everyone in this age of Kali needs to be enlightened in Krishna consciousness. So there's a place where Srila Prabhupada went to preach on this planet. Do you know what that place is? It's an island in Southeast Asia. It's called what? It's an island, a group of islands in Southeast Asia where Prabhupada went to preach. No? Philippines. And when Prabhupada was coming into the Philippines, I think he only went there once, I'm not quite sure, but when he came there, he said, this is the land of the witches. That's what he said. He could perceive that. But it's also the land of Chandalas. They eat dogs in Philippines. Korea eats dogs. Chinese, they eat dogs. So this is the lowest in the human society. But Prabhupada preached there, and our Gurudev also came there multiple times. And so many other preachers, sannyasis have been there. And it has not been all that easy but ISKCON has become very successful there. And we have temple there also due to our Radhakanta Prabhu who financed that. So we have a nice temple in Manila. And others like our Ganga Matas and others have gone there and preached. So Prabhupada is saying that, you know, whatever one's position is, everyone in this age of Kali needs to be enlightened in Krishna consciousness. And that is the greatest need of the day. It is the greatest need of the day. Especially when I look at what's going on in the world. Even this, what's been going on the last few days, Republican National Convention. I've watched a number of the speakers, the new nominated vice president and so forth. I've watched. But I cannot help but think that if they only knew the solution, because they're trying to come up with solutions and slogans and make America great again, but all of it falls short. Why? Because we're not these bodies. We're not Americans. We're not. And as long as somebody is thinking that, they're going to identify with their country of their birth, and they're going to be in mundane, very low level of consciousness, even if they believe in God, that there's a God, which a lot of them, they have some conception, they believe in God, but there's a lot of, mostly the world is full of atheists who don't believe in God. But there was a lot of talk about God, mentioning God in the different lectures. But I just kept thinking to myself, how sad. These people have not yet received the great benediction of knowing the absolute truth, knowing the supreme absolute personality of Godhead, Krishna, and all of Krishna's incarnations and expansions. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Many people do. They have, over all these decades, they've heard the Bhagavad Gita. Some people have tried to read the Bhagavad Gita. But at any rate, Mahaprabhu is arranging a very massive program for gradually, how do you say, when a person is sculpting something with their hands, they're sculpting and trying to make this sculpture very beautiful and perfect. So, in the same way, Mahaprabhu is sculpting the human society and trying to arrange to make them receptive and to make them capable of receiving the mercy of his message and of his movement, which definitely is going to go to every single town and village of the world. But that time period, our Srila Prabhupada has already predicted, Srila Vaman Maharaj has predicted, and others, and many, many astrologers, that there's going to be there will be massive devastation. Massive devastation in the world. And it will become there will be a lot of turmoil and suffering, but it will clean the whole world. Just today, I finished reading this book by Govinda Dasi that I've been reading. And just near the very last part of the book, she tells the story about how, the draft for the Vietnam War was going on. And anyone that was over 18 years of age had to register for the draft. And so one of his disciples, Gaur Sundar, who is the husband of Govinda Dasi, he had to go and report because he received a letter. He had registered in New York for the draft, and after being in New York for those 2-3 months, he received a letter that he has to report, take a physical examination. So, naturally he was very worried. She was very worried. Even the devotees, and she was crying, and Srila Prabhupada told to him, he says, do not worry. Krishna will protect you. Surely Krishna will protect you. You simply chant Hare Krishna. You keep on chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna will protect you. And he also told this to Govinda Dasi, don't worry. Devotees are under Krishna's protection. And not only that, but I will also say a special prayer to Krishna on behalf of your husband. So then the devotees are waiting for him to return. He had to take a bus to go into New York City. And he returns back and he's in a very upbeat mood. He comes and pays obeisances at Prabhupada's lotus feet with a smile on his face. He said, Prabhupada, you were correct. When I went there and I appeared there with a Jagannath hanging around my, they used to have these little Jagannaths that they used to wear around their neck. And I was continually chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when he reported there, the people who were supposed to try to determine, if a person needs a psychological examination or anything like that. So they sent him to a psychiatrist there, and as he was answering questions, then he would immediately start again chanting Hare Krishna, and Jagannath is there hanging around his neck. And so it was a lady who interviewed him, and she decided that, I think he has some psychological derangement, so we'll just give him a pass. There was two different types of passes, I forget. One was called a S7 or a this or that, but there was one that actually it meant you'll never be called. But the other one let you off the hook for some time, and that's the deferment. Section 8. No. So then Prabhupada said, you see, I told you. And but then Prabhupada began to explain about war. He was telling about this war, and Govinda Dasi and Gaur Sundar, and they were sitting in front of Prabhupada and telling to Prabhupada, this Vietnam War, it's just caused by all these politicians and all these corporations. They're just for their benefit, and they're sending all the youth to be slaughtered in these wars. So then Prabhupada explained to her something she had never heard. And it's nice because she explains how that sat with her when she heard. She said she never heard this kind of an explanation before, where Prabhupada was simply explaining that the result of violence is violence. The result of violence against living entities, the result will be violence against them. And he said, all throughout the world, especially in your Western countries, millions and millions, innumerable billions of cows and animals and chickens and pigs, and they're being slaughtered mercilessly throughout the whole world by the millions and billions. So therefore, there must be a war, and we see that approximately every 10 years there's a war, and all the youth are slaughtered. So when she understood that, then she said, yes, this is really the fact, So we know, because Srila Prabhupada is told that there's going to be a war. All the astrologers are showing that this time period coming up right now is the time period of this massive war on our Earth planet. And it's not going to be averted, because it has to happen. It's the plan of the Lord to lighten the burden of the world from all the extreme violence, sinful activities, atheism, killing children in the womb. Everything is going to have to be crushed. And a new world will come after that. Very different, very changed, and very concerned about God. And Srila Vaman Maharaj told, 2/3 will be gone of the world's population. They'll be gone. So, Yes. So listen to this. Prabhupada is saying in his purport that whatever one's position, everyone in this age of Kali needs to be enlightened in Krishna consciousness. That is the greatest need of the day. Everyone is acutely feeling the pangs of material existence. And now listen to this. Even in the ranks and files of the American Senate, the pinpricks of material existence, they are feeling acutely. They are felt. And so much so that April 30th, 1974 was actually set aside as prayer day. So thus, everyone is feeling the resultant pinpricks of Kali Yuga brought about by human societies indulging in illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. Now is the time for the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to distribute Krishna Bhakti all over the world and thus follow the orders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord has ordered everyone to become a guru. In the Madhya Lila, chapter 7, verse 128, Amar Agyai Guru Hoya Tara E Desh. Everyone in every town and village should be enlightened by the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Krishna consciousness should be distributed to everyone indiscriminately. And in this way, the entire world will be peaceful and happy, and everyone will glorify Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he desires. So the word Chandala actually refers to a dog eater who is considered the lowest of men. Even Chandalas can be enlightened in Krishna consciousness due to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's benedictions. So Krishna Bhakti is not the monopoly of a certain caste, and everyone is eligible to receive this great benediction given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone should be given a chance to receive it and be happy. So the word, this is the end of the purport and the end of our class. The word dan means charity. It is also significant in this verse that whoever engages in the distribution of Krishna consciousness is a charitable person. Professional men, they recite the Srimad Bhagavatam, and they also discuss Krishna Bhakti. For what purpose? Professional men. For money. They want the exchange of money. They cannot distribute such exalted transcendental property to everyone and anyone. Only pure devotees who have no motive other than serving Krishna can give such transcendentally valuable benedictions out of charity. So in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Nityananda Prabhu, go to Bengal and without restriction manifest devotional service to the Lord, Krishna consciousness. Nityananda Agya Dilo Jaha Gauda Deshe Anargala Prem Bhakti Kariha Prakashe. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus ordered Nityananda Prabhu to deliver all the Bengalis to devotional service. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Mami Parta Vyapashritya Yepi Supapayonaya Shriyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras Tepi Yanti Param Gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Sudras, they can attain the supreme destination. So whoever takes to Krishna consciousness and who follows the regulated principles, whoever does it, they can return home back to Godhead. And in his Anubhashya commentary, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that there is a class of so-called devotees who are called Prakriti Sahajiyas, who think that Nityananda Prabhu is an ordinary human being. They have spread the news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Nityananda Prabhu to return to Bengal from Orissa just to marry and beget children. This is certainly a great offense against Nityananda Prabhu. Such an offense is called Pashanda Buddhi, or an atheistic remark. Offenders, they consider Nityananda Prabhu to be like one of them, an ordinary human being. They do not know of Nityananda Prabhu's identity with the Vishnu Tattva. Thinking Nityananda Prabhu to be an ordinary human being is the business of mental speculators known as Kunapatma Vadis. These people, they accept the material body, which is a bag of three elements, Kunape Tridhatuke, and they accept this as themselves. And they think that Nityananda Prabhu's body was similarly material, and that it was meant for sense gratification. Whoever thinks in this way is a candidate for the darkest regions of hell. Those who hanker after women and money, who are self-interested, and they have the mentality of merchants, they can certainly discover many things with their fertile brains, and they can speak against the authorized revealed scriptures. They also engage in some money-making businesses to cheat innocent people, and they try to support their business programs by making such offensive statements. But actually, Nityananda Prabhu, being the expansion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is the most munificent incarnation. No one should consider him an ordinary human being or an entity like the Prajapatis who were ordered by Brahma to increase generations. Nityananda Prabhu should not be considered instrumental for sense gratification. So although professional so-called preachers support this idea, such statements are not found in any authorized revealed scriptures. Actually, there is no support for these statements made by Sahajiyas or other professional distributors of Krishna Bhakti. And Mahaprabhu gave some assistance, like Ram Das, Gadadhar Das, and several others to Nityananda Prabhu by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu said, I give them to you to assist you. And I shall also go to see you at intervals, keeping myself invisible. I shall watch you dance. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Srivas Pandit, and with his arm about his neck, he began to speak to him in sweet words. He said to Srivas Thakur, perform congregational chanting daily, and be assured that I shall also dance in your presence. You will be able to see this dancing, but not others. So take this prasadam of Lord Jagannath and this cloth and deliver them to my mother Sachi Devi. And after offering her obeisances, please request her to excuse my offenses. I have given up the service of my mother and I have accepted the sannyas order. Actually, I should not have done this. For by so doing I have destroyed my religious principles. I am subordinate to the love of my mother, and it is my duty to serve her in return. And instead of doing so, I have accepted the renounced order. Certainly, this is the act of a madman. A mother is not offended by her mad son, and knowing this, my mother is not offended by me. I had no business in accepting the renounced order and sacrificing my love for my mother, which is my real property. Actually, I was in a crazy state of mind when I accepted sannyas. And I'm staying here at Jagannath Puri Nilachala to comply with her orders. But at intervals, I go to see her lotus feet. And indeed, I go there daily just to see her lotus feet. She is able to feel my presence, although she does not believe that it is true. And one day, yes, my mother Sachi, she offered food to the Shalagram Vishnu. She offered rice cooked from shali paddies, offered various kinds of vegetables, spinach, curry made of banana flowers, fried patol with nimba leaves, pieces of ginger with lemon, and also yogurt, milk, sugar candy, and many other foods. And then taking the food upon her lap, Mother was crying to think that all that food was very dear to her Nimai, And my mother was thinking, Nimai is not here. Who will accept all this food? And as she meditated upon me in this way, her eyes filled with tears. And while she was thus thinking and crying, I immediately went there with great haste, and I ate everything. Then seeing the dish empty, she wiped her tears away. She then began to wonder who had eaten all that food. Why is the plate empty? And she wondered, doubting that Bal Gopal had eaten it all. She began to wonder whether there had actually been anything on the plate in the first place. And then again she thought that some animal might have come and eaten everything. Then she thought, perhaps by mistake I did not put any food on the plate. So thinking this, she went into the kitchen and saw the pots. And when she saw that all the pots were still filled with rice and vegetables, there was some doubt in her mind, and she was astonished. And thus wondering, she called Ishan, the servant, and had the place cleaned again. And she then offered another plate to Gopal. Now, Mahaprabhu is telling this, whenever she prepares some good cooked food, and whenever she wants to feed it to me, she cries in great anxiety. And being obliged by her love, I am brought there to eat. Mother knows all these things internally, and she feels happiness, but externally, she does not accept them. Such an incident took place on the last Vijaya Dashami day. You can ask her about this incident, and thus make her believe that I actually go there. So while describing all this, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became a little overwhelmed, but just to finish bidding farewell to the devotees, he remained patient. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu next spoke some relishable words to Raghava Pandit, and he said, I am obliged to you due to your pure love for me. So in this way, this chapter 15, is describing how Mahaprabhu is seeing off his Bengali Vaishnavas to go back to Bengal, and again to return the next year to Jagannath Puri for the same relishable period of association during Rath Yatra, Jagannath Rath Yatra, with Mahaprabhu. So every year they would again come. So in our next class, which is going to be on not this Sunday, we will have class on this Sunday, but the subject matter is Guru Tattva and Guru Purnima on this Sunday. Very nice festival here. Will be celebrated also the temple, and all the temples, they'll all be celebrated Guru Purnima, which is the full moon day when Srila Vyasadeva, he took his birth within this world. Srila Vyasadeva, the expansion, incarnation of Lord Krishna, empowered incarnation, the author of all the Vedas. So that day is known by the Hindus as Guru Purnima Day. And everyone in India, they worship their gurus on that day, which is coming up this Sunday, day after tomorrow. And so we will also have a Guru Purnima festival wherein we glorify all of our gurus in our sampradaya. And in this way, Srila Vyasadeva ultimately is worshipped on this day. We've been with Gurudev a number of times when he has also performed certain pujas with different groups of 5s and 5 and 5 pancha, I forget what it's called, Panchapadya or something like that. So the next other class will be on the Tuesday following. But let me just go over this a little bit. So today is the 19th, Friday, and then the 21st Sunday is Vyas Puja, and also the disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami, and it's also the first day of Kartik. The first day of Chaturmasya. So brahmacharis, sannyasis will all shave on that day. And then on the Tuesday will be the next class on our usual day, Tuesday, where there's a couple of disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhakti Hriday Bon Maharaj, disappearance, and Srila Bhakti Saurabh Sar Maharaj. And so we'll have class on that day, on the next Tuesday following this Sunday program. And then on the Thursday of that week, the 25th, is Bhakti Jivan, wait a minute, let me see. Bhakti Jivan Acharya Maharaj, one of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But the next day after that is Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami's disappearance day. So I'm thinking that perhaps we can switch the Thursday class to Friday so that it's actually on the disappearance day of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, which there can be some very, very nice katha on that day. Because it's best to worship the acharyas on their appearance and their disappearance days. So, how does that sound? We just switch it, kind of like we just did this week. So it won't be Thursday, but it'll be Friday the 26th. And then that Sunday is actually the disappearance day of Srila Lokanath Goswami. So very nice katha about him on that day. Then, coming up to the next Tuesday, the 30th, we will have class, but there's no appearance day on that day. But the day after is Ekadasi, Kamika Ekadasi. And also it is Wednesday, the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, who disappeared a few years ago in Vrindavan. So that would be on Wednesday, but we'll still have our class on Tuesday. And then Wednesday is Ekadasi and that day. And then the Thursday after, actually here they'll be celebrating our Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj, his disappearance day here. So they'll be having a festival here. And then on the Sunday will be the 37th anniversary of the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. And on that day, I will go there to the temple of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. They'll have a big festival there. So our program will not take place on that Sunday, August 4th. And then the next week, from the 5th to the 11th of August, there is only one day which lands on a Thursday, and it's the disappearance of Srila Raghunandan Thakur and Srila Vamshi Das Babaji. Yes. Make sure. Yeah, Vamshi Das Babaji Maharaj. So guess what happens after that? The next week after that, from the 12th to the 18th, but beginning on the 16th, is Julan Yatra, Pavitra Ropam Ekadasi, and in Vrindavan they have the festival for Srila Rupa Goswami's disappearance day, which is the day after. It will be on a Saturday here, Saturday the 17th, Sri Krishna, and also disappearance of Gauri Das Pandit, Sri Govinda Das Pandit, and Srila Rupa Goswami. So we will have katha on that day. So that means that our Sunday class will be switched to Saturday instead of Sunday. Okay? Sunday class will be switched to Saturday, the 17th. And guess what happens after that? On the 19th, Monday, which is the end of the Julan Yatra, then it's the day of Srila Baladev Purnima, Lord Balaram's appearance day. So that Lord Balaram's appearance day takes place about 1 week before Krishna's appearance day. So the following week, there will be Krishna Janmashtami on Tuesday, the 27th, and Nandotsava, the 28th, on Wednesday, and Srila Prabhupada's appearance day on that day. So, in this way, we will have Katha this Sunday and Tuesday. Yes. And then we decided to switch to Friday instead of Thursday for Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami's appearance day, and then on Sunday Srila Lokanath Goswami. So that's what's taking place next week. So, Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam ki jai, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Please chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna. Jaya Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari, Sachi Nandan, Jaya Gaura Hari. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Om Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satchavachai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All glory to the assembled devotees.